newest owner, and welcome. This building, erected in 1923, has been sitting right on the fault line, the Hayward fault line. And today, it's the California Golden Bears at home to take on the Washington Huskies in a very meaningful game, as the guys in the studio mentioned, in the Pac-12 North. We look forward to a magnificent afternoon and evening of football. A lovely day overlooking the bay from Berkeley, the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, along with the Rock Alcatraz right in front of it. Bo Baldwin and Patrick Laird, the go-to running back, original walk-on, takes it on first down, is met right away by Greg Gaines. And let's get Tillman's takes for today's game.
Timmy, on that first play, you saw a little bit of what Holly was talking about. They not only eat up players, they eat up space, talking about that front. So you got to get downhill on them quickly. That's Cal's objective. Then alternately, master the inside zone game, which they just did on that play. Look for them to stop it. Let's see if Cal can find the antidote.
Laird remains the setback out of the pistol formation.
That pressure early.
Right, Bert Kirby was coming and swinging out. That may have been considered a lateral rather than a pass off the hands of Laird. I think they did rule it an incompleted forward pass. It will remain third down and 10.
Took a little hit too, Timmy, on the back of it. Again, they had pressure. There was an extra man, a fifth one coming. Nice pulling off their job, but the quarterback took a shot.
By the way, did that look similar to something to you?
Yes, it did. I know where you're going, big boy.
Bert Kirby, I believe he did get a little bit of a head and neck area there, didn't he? Yeah. Wise choice not to call a penalty. On third and 10. Garber's pass. Well, he threaded that through a couple of Huskies for Vic Wharton, the third, incomplete. The pass was a little behind him, Spence, but it was catchable.
There was a game and a deal working inside. Again, he threw this ball to Garbers with no one in that space, but because of the game, it was tipped. Because of the game and the deal, the exchange of responsibilities by the interior lineman, a man showed up in his face, got a hand on the ball, and that was the difference.
Yeah, and it was Burke Irvin. Yep. Not surprisingly. As I called it live, I did not see the tip, but on the replay, it was clear. Stephen Poots will punt it away, number 37, with Aaron Fuller back deep.
Good field position.
It should be. Brings it in at the 37 and is met in a hurry. That's a 42-yard punt, -1 on the return. As you look at the veteran Jake Browning, 2 years removed from being player of the year as a sophomore. In his California career, he's been pretty much lights out. 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Only lost the one game earlier. You know, one of the things that he's done over time is really improve in not getting caught losing yardage on scrambles. That's one of the things that Bush Hamden, the offensive coordinator, touched on with us. It is Sean McGrew, by the way, that will dot the I formation. So no Myles Gaskin, at least to open the game. McGrew. Nothing doing. Running into Luke Beckett, number 93, as we get Tillman's takes when Washington's got the ball.
Timmy, you talked about whether or not Gaskin would be in the contest or not, and we were speculating whether or not he would show up. Again, first game he missed in his career, 4 years. I don't care if we're in the spread era or not. To only miss one game was amazing. They've got to get the ground game going, and then you got to cash that check. And all that basically means is play with the consistency that Cal did last week. Coaches got buy-in there. He wants consistency.
Savannah Ahmed is now in the game and takes the swing pass and is in trouble. Well, that was well read. As you look at Myles Gaskin on the sideline, and it would appear he is not going to go today, despite how he looked in the warm-up. By the way, Evan Weaver made that play, a tackle for loss of 3. So without Gaskin, understanding what's ahead for them, and let's be real, all right, they play Stanford next, then they get an off week in Oregon State in the Apple Cup to follow up. They want a healthy Gaskin for the stretch run.
And I'll tell you what, they're trying to get the hands down of these guys up front, those low blocks, trying to get their attention, and it will.
Amari Pleasant, 24, checks in, so 3 backs on 3 plays. And the crossing pattern caught. It's Aaron Fuller. It's a first down into Bears territory at the 44. The stop by 27, Ashton Davis.
Well, that's just a great job of seeing eyes against a 4. It is basically a 3-man back end cover on the slot side. 3 receivers to that side, so he's going to go away from the numbers. And again, the innermost receiver is able to come and separate and get upfield for a nice completion, nice throw and catch.
A 23-yard gain. Drew Sample, 88, comes in. Multiple tight ends. And you see McGrew and Salvon Ahmed in motion, and he winds up with it. Ahmed is going to be taken out on an eventual stretch play that was run at the 41-yard line. So we'll give him 3 on the play. Cameron Bynum, number 24, redshirt sophomore from Corona, California, making the tackle.
You'll also see Sean McGrew, and then Kamari Pleasant will spell him, and that's part of the three-headed monster that Coach was talking about that will sub for Myles Gaskin.
Well, you look at that, 200-plus yards last week against Colorado, and they did that without Gaskin. And they swing it out again. This is Bocelli. This young man, the junior from Thousand Oaks, making sure that Ashton Davis covers the width of the field, ushers him out of bounds. Healthy pickup and a first down.
Well, they're working again. Take a listen to this one. Yeah, a little popping going on. I think inside the game there, it's really about stretching the field. Doing a great job of moving the breadth and the width, forcing this Cal back in to cover everything.
From the 33, Alex Cook, 15. The redshirt freshman from Sacramento is coming to the game. He's up at the top of your screen.
Weird pressure look right here off the edge. Let's see if they keep that on, and it's coming.
They're going to use a lot of tight ends and H-backs today. There's Ahmed inside the 30, spun down at the 28 by Tevin Paul, a 5-yard pickup. Paul, very athletic, this young man. One of the best inside rushers that they've got on this California defense. And they go again with Ahmed. He's met Paul again. The line of scrimmage by Tevin Paul. We talked about the push just as he, right on cue, made that play, infiltrating the backfield of Washington.
Well, when you're playing just a 3-man front, that's what these two teams have in common, along with Chris Palmer on that nose tackle position, the zero technique. You're going to see Tevin Paul be frequently anchoring that outside. He's not going to let anything get outside him unless you see an in rusher, a guy sneaking down like a cornerback, but his responsibility is to chase down anything that comes back to that side.
How about that one-handed tackle?
It was awesome.
That is a meat cleaver he brought out. 3rd and 8. Browning lets it fly. Corner route. It's taken by Jones. Inside the 10, they'll rule him out at the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, 28 yards the pickup.
Yeah, Cameron Bynum did just about as good a job as he possibly could.
A catch and a first down.
But that was a perfect throw to the back shoulder for the completion. Again, Cameron Bynum, the left cornerback, was in about as good a position as you possibly could be. But that ball, because of Browning's arm, placed it exactly where it needed to be to complete that pass.
McGrew now has checked back into the game, and they are going to take a look at this. They were
The ruling on the field is a catch and a first down. The previous play is now under replay review.
Our replay official is Jim Fogeltans. Mark Duddy is our referee. I think that's the 2nd week in a row we've gotten this crew. We had him in Pullman last week. I thought it was a catch.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, and that's just indicative of Ty Jones. Yeah, he's clearly in. He's got both feet in. I think he's got control of the ball. The ball's coming out there, Timmy.
Watch Bynum.
Yeah.
I don't know that
I don't know if he had control of it. That's a good call.
Yeah.
To at least look at it anyway. He doesn't have control of that. He doesn't complete the catch.
Well, both of them had their arms on it, and Bynum was trying to wrestle it away.
I mean, just the effort alone is impressive, though, because, Ty Jones had a great freshman year, and he struggled a little bit after that, but, he looked impressive on that play. I don't think it's going to hold on. Let's see what Dino has to say about it.
Yeah, Dean, what do you think? It looked as though he had it, and then Bynum corralled it away at some point as they were rolling out of bounds.
Yeah, good job by the replay official staying with the catch. Remember, the receiver has to take it all the way to the ground. Great look here. It looks like the ball comes loose. It's touching the Cal defender who's out of bounds. That puts that ball out of bounds and makes it an incomplete pass.
I absolutely see nothing from that replay and from what Dean just had to say to disagree at all. I would say that you were right on top of it there, Spencer.
I think Dean was on top of it. I didn't see the back end of the ball come out. Dean saw it. The back end of that ball was out, and I didn't see it the first pass around, and clearly he did not complete that catch.
Well, when it takes this long,
they're just trying to figure out where they're trying to spot it.
Yeah,
that's what
go back and let's not forget where the original line of scrimmage was when that happens.
I got a 60-second rule when they're making the decision like that. If it takes over 1 minute, they're trying to figure out where the ball is placed.
Well, Jones did a marvelous job of going up and getting it, but you have to complete the act of the catch, as Dean mentioned, and give Bynum credit for not.
He's a hard worker, Tim. He's a 4.0 student. I mean, he shows you how he can go up and get that ball and work. He's not a leader just by mouth and talking. This guy is an example out there every single day in the classroom and on the field. Coach Peterson's got a good one there.
All right, Mark Duddy is ready to give us the call.
After review, the pass is incomplete. The players were out of bounds. The ball was loose, so it's an incomplete pass. It'll be Washington's ball, 4th down.
I watched Pereira earlier today, and he didn't miss, so I guess Blandino won't either today. And there's a marvelous decision there by Fogeltans, number one, to take a look at it, as Dean mentioned, to call down, make sure that they took a look at it, because Washington was in the hurry up.
Yeah,
they were trying to get a play off. And that puts the ball back now at the 31 for 4th down. So how big was that play by Bynum? And on 4th and 8, Washington will go for it. Kamari Pleasant has come into the game. Bocelli, number 5, a favorite target out of that slot, is up at the top of your screen.
This is not a pooch formation, but this is something where you could do it if you didn't have trust in your kicker.
Yep. Fuller's also in a pass pattern. There goes Brown. You can do it with his legs. He is very close. I think he got it. I think he got it.
And that's a risky play because Brown is not known for his mobility. And he's smart. They put a lot on his shoulders in this offensive scheme, but you wouldn't have guessed if you're going to try to go for it, it's not going to be a design quarterback run, I guarantee you. This is going to be awful close. But the chains move.
Yeah. No,
he pulls it down, and again, the beautiful thing about Browning is he keeps his eyes downfield. That kind of gives you an indication. Yeah, he's clearly body, knees down, but his body and frame was over that line.
The outstanding linebacker, Jordan Kadashik, number 59, got there just a hair late.
Yeah, they may look at it again, though, Timmy. His knee, he looked like he was kind of vertical.
The ruling on the field is that the quarterback earned a 1st down. The previous play is now under replay review.
So Chris Peterson shakes his head, and Jim Fogeltans will once again go back to work with Mark Duddy, and we'll have yet another stoppage in play here. Remember, knee down. Where's the ball? From that angle,
I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn that. Yeah.
The knee is off the ground there.
Yeah, the left knee is off the ground.
Right. Where's the ball? Ball looks to be ahead of the scrimmage to make.
Left knee is off the ground, and as he turns and torques his body, he is still literally, both knees are off the turf.
Critical aspect is where the ball was.
Yes, no question.
When the knee did touch, and it looked from us, from our vantage point, and again, without a camera right down the line, they're not going to see anything really better than this right here.
And even if you're the side judge, your initial view, this guy right here is looking at it, but now,
see, the knee's not down. It looks like it is, but it's not. And you see where the ball is.
Yeah, I think it's a 1st down.
I agree.
After review, the ruling on the field of a 1st down stands. 1st down, Washington.
Browning knew it. You know, he is a veteran. He knew where the sticks were. And you touched on his legs. He can run the football, but he's gotten into trouble sometimes when he has.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things. Yeah, that's one of the things that Matt Lubick and a few other guys have worked with him on. If you're scrambling, and that's what Peterson calls it, make sure it's not for negative yardage potentially. Scramble to the side or forward, not backwards. 9 plays, 42 yards on this current drive. McGrew is in the backfield. This is the 10th play. Out pattern. Bocelli. He runs out of real estate shy of the 10. They'll mark him out at the 11.
Tim, you know, a lot of people think that call was really a gutsy call, but I call your attention because I still remember the sting of it when Coach Peterson beat Oklahoma in the bowl game, in the Fiesta Bowl. He's a gambler. He will go for it.
That Boise State game, as you recall, in the Fiesta during the BCS era. Ahead is Sean McGrew inside the 5. They can get a 1st down without benefit of touchdown. Evan Weaver, 89. 75 tackles, 3 of them for losses. Look at those red zone numbers.
This is where it matters.
They have struggled in this area this season. On the lead, it goes to McGrew, and he's popped in a hurry by Ashton Davis. Coming up in run support, the safety, to make the play. That's a loss of 4.
Out of Santa Cruz, the free safety, Ashton Davis. Boy, he really diagnosed this play well and played it with leverage. Probably needed that head on the right side of the body, but because he was so form and fit and didn't give the back a chance to get any head of steam, he nails him behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 7, and that graphic about poor red zone play coming to the forefront right here and right now.
Nice.
Over the top, incomplete. They were running across, and there's a flag. Bocelli, the intended receiver, and the flag came down late in the secondary of Cal.
I think this is going to be a personal foul.
Yeah, a bailout. Yep.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 90. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, that was Rusty Baker, the left end.
Becker? Yep.
Becker, who got called on that.
Got a little too excited, didn't he? We talk about a bailout. I mean, they've stopped them. You're lining up for a field goal without this. I mean, you are. Just can't do that.
Yeah, he's got a little blood there, too.
Yeah. More importantly, it's 1st and goal.
See how they handle this little Twins package right here. This can be nasty.
Tight end is Jacob Kaiser, 86.
Wow.
Pleasant, again, met at the point of attack immediately. You know, this is an offensive line, Spencer, without one of its stars. As Beckett was very involved on that play, but they lost Trey Adams, their best left tackle.
Yep.
And they haven't been quite on target this year with that O-line. Now, the coaches will tell you they've improved, but clearly they've been hurt in red zone efficiency because of that problem.
Yeah, he had an ACL, and Hilbert just did a nice job of stepping in there. But, boy, you have bookends if you've got those two working together.
On 2nd and goal, Browning lets it fly. Back in the end zone. It is touchdown. It is Ty Jones. A lot of patience there. Quarterbacks will tell you many times, I'm waiting to see who's around the back line of that end zone, and Ty Jones was.
Well, a couple of things were working. Great protection. You talked about patience. Now here's the protection on the back end. That pass is completed. Great body control. Ty gets his feet down. Nice job, but the protection by the running back. That was the big difference there. Salvon Ahmed in the backfield. He's the guy that kept the quarterback clean.
He just did get that foot down. That's the 90th career touchdown pass for Browning. Henry's extra point is good. 105th total touchdown as a Husky. 6th most in Pac-12 history. Browning and company have taken the lead at Cal.
Timmy, you talk about plays building on one another. I want you to watch this little route pattern combination here, and then the other receiver crossing. It will be a natural pick by this guy as he comes across. The next play up off of this is to sit the tight end down right there in between those two defenders. Again, didn't have to that way because you got it in the back of the end zone.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Dell Technologies, driving digital transformation forward. Magnificent setting here in the Bay Area from the Berkeley Marina all the way across the way to the Golden Gate Bridge and beyond. It's just a magnificent time to be in this part of the country. Patrick Laird is in the backfield now, along with quarterback Chase Garbers after the 57-yard return by Ashton Davis. The former walk-on. He dropped it.
Out.
It's out inside the 30. It appears that a lineman trailing the play may have gotten on top of it. I believe he did. And it was Addison Ohms, the center, number 57, trailing the play. The redshirt senior makes the
ruling
recovery.
on the field is a fumble recovered by California for a first down.
Yep.
Yeah, the ball is cleanly out, no question about that. But the doctor's son, Patrick Laird, has got to be able to protect the rock, not squander this opportunity after great return sets them up.
JoJo McIntosh knocked that one free after the 14-yard gain. Ball is at the 28.
Nice.
It is quick slip. It's Hudson, and he's down inside the 10 at the 7. One of the tight ends utilized, stopped by Taylor Rapp, a 20-yard gain. First and goal.
We talk about Browning taking the hit, but how about Garbers taking the hit too? He stands in there and takes a shot, but delivers as well. Again, Hudson on the receiving end, and Hudson protects the ball. He goes and gets positive yardage. Oh, this is good football.
Yes, it is. By the way, I don't know about you, but I am digging that headgear for
It's
Washington.
got a little nice LSU kind of flair thing.
That's what they wore last week. You're right. Good call. On first down, it's Laird. No room for a cutback that time. Outstanding penetration by Burke Irvin, who, when you watch him on tape, you say, okay, he's going to make 20 tackles, but you think he's really close to making 30. You know, it's like, I don't believe I've ever seen a player closer to the football. And, you know, he and Garbers actually met up in high school. Garbers was just a freshman. Their two high schools used to play against one another. He knows all too well about number 25 on the other side. Second down and goal. Laird again, nothing doing. That's Benning Potua'i, number 8, coming up to make the play. And you'll hear Potua'i's name mentioned a lot, the junior from DuPont, Washington.
Timmy, you're making better reads on this. Here's the guy that you're reading on the outside. If he crashes and comes down, that ball needs to come out. You need to pull that ball out right now. 17 is waiting on you, and there's a defender outside, but their eyes are trained to the inside. It's the defensive end is the guy you're reading. The end man on the line of scrimmage, and you've got to be able to beat one yourself. He talked to us yesterday about making better decisions in those situations. He can do it down here in the red area.
Third and goal.
Nice.
Overthrew his man. Pass was intended for Noah, number 9. Kanawai was in position. The sunlight may have gotten him, but the pass was airmailed. No doubt about that.
Kanawai Noah was right there in the slot. He turns. It's just presented on your chest. I mean, that's a pitch and catch, man. And that was another point. Remember, we talked about, have you critiqued yourself? Tell us what are the 3 things you got to do. One of them was accuracy, particularly on some of those types of throws right there.
Greg Thomas will try for the field goal. Hit a career 44-yarder against Idaho back in week 3, and he puts that one right through. So they do get the response with the field goal. But bogged down inside the red zone. Jake Browning, after throwing his 90th in his career, brings his Huskies out next. 7-3 our score after the field goal by the Golden Bears. Coming up next, UFC Fight Night is on FS1 as first-round finisher Vulcan gets ready to take on surging Anthony Lionheart Smith. UFC Fight Night is next on FS1 and on the Fox Sports app. Chris Landry will kick it away, number 49, the left-footed boot. Headed in the direction of McGrew, and he'll call for a fair catch, and they'll bring it out to the 25. Now time for, well, wait a minute. Do we have a flag?
The receiver gave a fair catch signal. The ball will be placed at the 25-yard line. First down, Washington.
I thought for a moment maybe he had decided to change his mind or we had a flag. So I beg your pardon. Let's get to Los Angeles now for this game break with Greg Wolf.
Tim, thanks. In the Pac-12 South, ASU up 3 over USC late fourth quarter. It's on 3rd and 1 trying to get that first down. They're going to get a whole lot more. Manny Wilkins, 45 yards for the touchdown. ASU wins 38-35. They snap USC's 19-game home winning streak. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
Oh, get on the Herm train out in the desert. And that drops Coach Helton's team to 4-4 overall. More importantly, 3-3 in the Pac-12. Ahmed with a flag down, nailed by Joshua Drayden, number 20, but the flag dropped in the Washington backfield.
Rusty Becker in the fray as well.
Holding offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's the tight end, Cade Otton.
Yeah, Cade Otton's there. He's number 87 right here. He's got that hand, you know, underneath the pads. The back judge saw it, too. He's reaching for that flag. He's got a beeline directly to his line of sight where the hand was in the infraction.
Tevin Paul has been a load to deal with. I can certainly understand why you'd want to have a little extra something going on with him. Ahmed remains in the backfield on 1st and 20. Browning stepping up. And that's being resourceful, but you see again how quick Konopczyk can close. This kid is off the charts in his ability to run and chase sideline to sideline.
Well, it's a shallow drop for him. Again, 59 just kind of sits there and waits on Browning to come. Again, Browning didn't have anywhere to go. Credit the back end coverage. Nice job of 59 shutting him down.
You saw that sixth most in the Pac-12, and you think of Connor Halliday. I mean, Browning's getting up there with some of the big numbers from widespread offenses from his neighbors within the state of Washington, guys that played for the Mad Scientist. Ahmed ahead to the 25-yard line. Saban, sophomore from Kirkland, Washington, stopped by the other linebacker, Evan Weaver. A gain of 8. So 3rd and long again, 3rd and 10. And this is exactly what Cal defensively loves to do to you. Their defensive coordinator, Tim DeRuyter, what a pickup that was for Justin Wilcox's staff. Former head coach at Fresno and for years at Air Force, played there for Fisher DeBerry. He loves these down and distances.
Still just rushing 4, though, Tim.
Right over the middle. It's Ty Jones again. He has been the favorite target. Had the disputed catch earlier in the game. No dispute to that one. 24 yards and a first down.
Well, you got guys that are working out here. Just a 4-man rush, Timmy. Again, because the softness in this, the ball is going to come out. You don't have an extra guy there. With the down and distance, I'm not so sure I would not have blitzed a quarterback that's not as immobile. We know that he can move, but that's where you want to get a lot of bodies around him. And with the coverage on the back end, your guys have been playing exceptionally well, particularly the last 2 weeks.
6 of 7, 67 yards, and the touchdown to Jones to go with it. Here's Pleasant on the stretch play. Cuts it back up. He's got a first down and inside. Stopped inside the 30 at the 29 by Cameron Bynum again. 22 yards on this one.
Luke Wattenberg, the back guard on this side, is pulling. He's going to come around. He does an excellent job of delaying. And again, you talk about Weaver and those linebackers in the middle. That left guard was the guy that opened up that play.
Play fake, bootleg action. Browning decides to dispense of that poor decision.
I think that was, they're going to rule that an interception.
And they should.
Bynum ruling on the field is an interception. First down for Cal.
You know, he was trying to just throw that one away, and he didn't count on Bynum being able to make that play, but he did. Aaron Fuller, the intended receiver. Oh, yeah,
wow.
Count it.
Great ball skills.
Big-time play by the redshirt sophomore from Centennial in Corona, California. That's Bynum's 2nd interception of the year, the 4th in his career. We were talking to Tim DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator, yesterday, and he said this young man works on his footwork with almost every free moment he has after practice. And boy, did that come into play on that pick. Patrick Laird takes it ahead for about 3 yards, maybe 5. Watch this, Spencer, the footwork, as we said, along the sidelines.
Watch him alert the ball, though. Again, he knows the ball is underthrown. He forgets the receiver at this point. He becomes an offensive player and goes and pulls that out of the air. Tremendous ball skills, and his intelligence level is off the chart. When he was a senior, only about 160 pounds, wasn't quite sure. Now he's 6 foot, intelligent. He's a great cornerback.
Brandon McElwain is coming to the game at quarterback, Spence. So the pitching change made by Justin Wilcox. Tavis Bartlett makes the stop. Pickup of 2. Well, we're told earlier today, Reggie McKenzie on hand. That sheet has one Cameron Bynum on it. And why wouldn't it? The general manager of the Raiders.
That's right.
Garbers now comes back into the game. So after the quick pitching change to McElwain for a specific running play, Justin Wilcox and his offensive coordinator, Bo Baldwin, go back to the better passer, Chase Garbers. 3rd and 3. Pressure off the edge. He's in trouble. Onwuzurike. Levi in to make the play. Onwuzurike, number 95, 6'3", sophomore from Allen, Texas, comes in to make the play.
Onwuzurike, number 95. Watch him give the double move. We talked about how these guys can play what we call a zero technique. He vacated the area he was responsible for, but because of his athleticism, Tim, he got back into that same gap. We talked about at the top of the show how they do a tremendous job of inviting you into what looks like open space, but they close it. It's like a Venus flytrap, man. They shut it down in a hurry.
Yeah, he got held on the play, too, and still managed to get his sack. Stephen Coots to boot it away, averaging just under 42 per punt. That's a high spiral. Fair catch is called for by Aaron Fuller after a 50-yard boot. Well, a battle of the Pac-12 North. Well, think about it. 3 Pac-12 North teams with 1 loss are battling for the division. Washington 4-1 with their 1 loss against Oregon. Washington State 3-1 in the Pac-12. Their lone conference loss coming to the hands of USC. Stanford, of course, playing a big one today with Wazoo. Their only loss coming against Utah. What an interesting November we're going to have here in the Pac-12 North. And that guy knows it. Sean McGrew is in the backfield on 1st and 10. And here he goes. Off the right side, ahead to about the 34, maybe the 35. If you can get 5-6 yards at a chunk on 1st down, that is a good position to be in. Alex Funchess, number 36, making the stop, one of the outside linebackers.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get to what they call run-pass conflicts. And all that means is the defense is in a tough spot because they don't know personnel-wise, are you going to run it or are you going to throw it? If it gets any shorter than that, say 7 yards on 1st down, you're really in a run-pass conflict scenario. That's almost like having a free down for the offense.
Lining up heavy as we come to the end of the quarter.
That's the end of the 1st quarter.
Has had a very productive first. But Cal did answer with the help of teams. Justin Wilcox trying to bring Washington back to the forefront. Going to be tough today against this grizzled veteran at quarterback. It's October, and in this month, you don't necessarily win a league, but you go a long way in determining whether you can. With this game going on, Spencer, and the Stanford matchup with Wazoo simultaneously, you got to get the W if you're Washington today in a game you're favored in.
I think as the season goes along, we've seen this demonstrated in the 1st quarter. It's really about defense. That's what defines you. The elite teams that tend to emerge, whether it's Cameron Bynum doing his job on the back end, that's what I'm looking for to see in this game. I guarantee you it's going to be 1 or 2 defensive plays or stops with the outstanding linebacker play we have, and then on the back end, that's going to be the difference.
Ahmed in the backfield. Burrows close to the line to make for a 1st down. He needed to scrimmage at the 38. He's a yard and a half shy. Well, they've got really complimentary backs, and the thing that you notice, Spencer, in watching them is the great patience that they run the football with. I think that's certainly true of Gaskin when he's available, and he is a more complete back than these other 3, but they're all gifted. This time it's Kamari Pleasant. Found the right opening, and
there's that guy again.
Yep.
Again, Evan Weaver weaving in the middle, man. He comes and runs and chases. That's what the big guys up front are really all about, keeping them clean. If it were a 3-man front, you'd expect them to be filling. That's not what they do. They're a little bit smaller. You talk about running. Listen to this. Oh. That'll make you change your mind.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Bynum coming in there.
Dream Weaver to go in with that one. Gary Wright,
76.
Yeah. Great album. Pleasant, the little setback, play fake to it. Browning on the check down, incomplete. Great ball skills. Fuller had it knocked away by Hawkins.
Jalen Hawkins coming from that strong safety position. We are seeing a clinic here on the back end. You talk about game of inches, keeping their bodies clean. The quarterback is doing a nice job of stepping up. Browning sees the pressure, stays lateral, but on the back end, you got Jalen Hawkins playing elite defense, gets that right hand in there and bats it away. Yep, nothing here. Keep walking.
Came over from Buena Park, California. 2nd and 10 with the ball at the 41 of Washington. Kamari Pleasant now in the backfield. Browning on the cross, incomplete. Pass thrown a bit behind Otten, the tight end. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
That was a tight window, but man, I tell you, you got to catch that. When it was put on his back shoulder, Tim, Browning just throws it on a rope. I mean, you got to catch that ball.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, that's right between your hands, and it doesn't get any better than that. And the disappointment, the dejection on that guy's face, obvious.
You got to find a way to fight through. We've seen a lot of teams with quality quarterbacks have receivers struggle today in college football, but you got to fight through it and manage to make a play.
Well, they got the screen. They sniffed that out big time.
Did they ever? Browning lets it go for Fuller, incomplete. Boy, did you see that? They stayed in their lanes. A late flag does come down. This would probably be, one would think, an offensive lineman getting too far down the field. We'll
Tim
see.
DeRuyter, the defensive coordinator, did a nice job of having his guys diagnose that play and bail back. You're talking about reading, reacting. Most guys would have their ears pinned back, coming back. But again, just watch how these guys come up here, and then they kind of pull back.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
Yeah.
Offense, number 56. The penalty is declined. The result of the play, 4th down.
Once they recognize what's going on, they settle and put themselves in a good football position to respond and react to whatever Browning does decision-wise. That's just great defense.
Yeah, and that defense is what precipitated the penalty on Harris, the center. That ball should have been released, so they were in no man's land, the offensive lineman, for an ineligible receiver downfield. Joel Whitford, number 32, to boot it away. Remijo is back deep along with Vic Wharton. This one's going to go all the way into the end zone. Talk about flipping the field. That was a 59-yard boot from Joel, young man from South Australia. Oh, having a good day here in the Bay. Seven to 3 as with sunlight soon will give way to moonlight here in the late afternoon hours in Northern California with Holly Saunders and Spencer Tillman. Tim Brando, happy to have you with us.
Got to get Patrick Laird going.
Barber's pass is caught, but a negligible gain. Ian Bunting, 83, one of the tight ends. Both these offenses like to utilize multiple tight ends. See a lot of Malik Morris setting up as an H-back. Kyle Wells, 87, Hudson, 11, Bunting. And you see McElwain now back in the game. We've seen him now. This is his second play as Garbers checks out on 2nd and 6. One would think this is now a designed run for a running back. He is the most explosive player they have. Instead, they swing it out to Laird. And you're right, Spencer, they're trying to get him unleashed. Hard to do, though, with Ben Burr-Kirven in his sights.
Well, listen, he had 193 yards rushing last week, and they swung on the last play opposite of this, and no one actually covered him. So they're tinkering, trying to figure out what reaction they're getting from the formation, and that is bibliography and footnotes. They're going to have more than 3 or 4 opportunities, I guarantee you, in the second half for him to break plays wide open, because it looks like Washington is staying true to form.
Move the sticks.
Well, I think a couple of good things here. Quarterback, number 1, patience, and watch him keep his eyes downfield, smart, moving up the field to try to get outside rather than trying to get outside of those active ends for Washington, and then finds a nice outlet in Noah downfield.
Boy, he was close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was
Spencer.
close.
Very close.
Kind of how they'll put him in a trips formation. They'll put him out wide when they go 4 wides and run tunnel screens to him. He's another guy that has explosive power and play capability. They need more of those 20-plus explosive plays. That's what they're looking for, 20 yards or more.
41-year-old Justin Wilcox.
Wow.
More pressure. It's handled. And now looking for the corner in Mo Ways. Out of bounds. Mo, 17 catches this season for 186 yards. Youngster out of Country Day in Detroit. Grad senior making his way here, and he was covered by Byron Murphy.
But watch the protection on this play. Laird does a nice job of meeting him from depth. This is the way the ball is only able to get away because the running back steps up and makes a play. Now, you don't notice that a lot of times until the quarterback gets it put in his watch pocket. On that play, Laird stepped up and made a huge effort.
McElwain comes back in. Now you see Malik Morris, pick number 99. He leads the blocking here as McElwain keeps it on the design run out to the 40-yard line. By the way, Ways, who made the catch, albeit incomplete out of bounds, is the Michigan transfer. And you see this shuttle now going on between McElwain and Garbers. Those rushing yards for McElwain important, and they're hoping that they can get more out of him through the course of the game. But down and distance is obviously playing a large role in whether he's on the field or not. This is a passing down, 3rd and 7. Nice. Over the middle and caught. That's Vic Wharton, the 3rd. It's a first down, and it's inside Washington territory to the 45. Miles Bryant, the stop, 14 yards.
Well, Vic Wharton got open big time, and he comes underneath and just kind of sits it down underneath that, right? It's a zone coverage, so what you're looking for is an equal distance between either other defenders, and Vic does a nice job of settling in there for the completion. You know, Washington's got to be careful, Timmy, of those games and deals with those big guys up front, because there's only 3 of them with their hand down. down, and there's a lot of voids in that front.
On 1st and 10, Laird. Nice little juke there. Sidestepping and weaving his way past Ben Burr-Kirven, and is down to the 42-yard line of the Huskies.
I think what Cal is figuring out is you got to move just a little bit. Part of this kind of horizontal thing is just you don't expect to get big plays, but what you want to do is get them running. Get an attitude of running one direction, then you start to block him in a way that's consistent with what you're trying to do with misdirection.
Saw those career-high numbers he had in their last outing against Oregon State. Young man from San Luis Obispo. Original walk-on. Only got opportunities, really, at Ivy League schools to play. Wanted to walk on and play here. Thought he could maybe make it at the next level. Ryan Bowman, 55, makes the stop of him there after a gain of just one. You mentioned his dad's a doctor. That's what he wants to be eventually. He's an orthopedic surgeon. His dad, who makes his way down from time to time.
In the meantime, he's not dealing with heartbeats. He's making beats, real beats, music, man. He's got a song. Yeah,
that's right.
Got a song on the internet and sold it when he was in high school before he got here. And he's a gifted young man.
Really enjoyed our conversation with all of the Bears that we had a chance to talk to yesterday, including Garbers, who's now trying to negotiate another first down, and he does. A very resourceful young quarterback there. Pushed out by JoJo McIntosh. A gain of 8 and a first.
Well, it's the first thing you want to do is make sure that your eyes, you can see maybe something's there, maybe it's not there, and you come back the opposite direction. Quality decision down here. Remember we talked to him yesterday and said, hey, man, you're sneaky fast. You got a little bit more get up than most people would think your quarterback would. And he says, yeah, I've been told that.
And we've got a false start.
False start. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's McCary, the left tackle, who from time to time moves over to guard, and Will Craig comes in. Both of these offensive lines are pretty versatile. Guys being forced to play different spots given the injury circumstances. Right now still able to play at, you see now, is at the guard spot with Will Craig, 75, flanking him at left tackle. Laird's got it. Look out. He's down to the 20. McIntosh again makes the saving tackle.
They've been picking this up and then setting this play up all drive, Tim, trying to get him to the edges. They had flanked him out and then ran him in what they call a scat protection. All that means is he has no blocking responsibility. He's just a run and sprint. Nobody went with him, so they came back with the same formation, flipped it, and then got the ball out to him, make a great play. This is excellent play design and play calling.
You saw Tevis Bartlett, 17, the linebacker. Spence, he was just a shade late getting over there to him. And he's got quick twitch in his game. See the total yards beginning to pick up for Patrick Laird. If they're really going to be in rhythm, he's got to play well.
McCaffrey liked.
Yep. Outside the Wharton it goes. And he reels it in at the 20 and is taken down at the 18 by Miles Bryant.
And we make those comparisons, and we're not saying that he's a Heisman Trophy candidate in that, Tim, but when you look at a player, because he is a 5'2", he's like a Swiss Army knife. He can do so much. He's gifted, he's smart, he's skilled, and I think he's going to have a chance to play at the next level.
And as you mentioned, a beat maker, too. I think the song that he produced was called Small Town, and you can find it on iTunes. He remains in the backfield. Bootleg action. Nothing doing. Pass was caught by the tight end Bunting, but no gain. 3rd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, Travis Bartlett there, the will linebacker, was there and made the ready stop. But again, nice job of avoiding the rusher and getting the ball in the hands of a receiver.
Well, now they bring Laird way out to the bottom of your screen, Spence.
Yeah, they're trying to work on, let's see personnel-wise how they match up.
There he is.
This is the matchup you want. You got a linebacker essentially out here covering him, but it's a good linebacker.
Empty backfield.
Ben Burr-Kirven.
Yep. Crossing pattern incomplete. Bunting the intended receiver. And you talk about ball skills. That was a tremendous move by Taylor Rapp, number 7. He leads the nation with 3 fumble recoveries. And he made a great play there defensively.
Yeah, that's excellent. We're seeing nice defensive play on both back ends for both these teams. Again, I'm looking down the road at the play lineup. And Burr-Kirven, the linebacker, the outstanding linebacker, flanked out wide on that last play. Patrick Laird, and then it's something to look at down the road.
35-yard try now for Thomas. And the transfer from City College of San Francisco brings the Bears to within 1. 6 and change remaining in Berkeley. Time for another edition of Saunders Wanders. And Holly, where are you today?
Tim, I wanted a better view of the Golden Gate Bridge, so I came up here to what Cal fans call Tightwad Hill. You can take in all of the action, all the scenery. Fans have been doing this for almost a century, and the best part is that it's free, which might still be too expensive for you, Tim. I heard you forgot your wallet again last night.
You know him, Holly.
I was traveling with management. I was covered. Thank you. There you see, when it was built, 23. Fans can watch for free. You know, in a lot of schools, once they figured that out, they would buy the land so they could charge.
That's right.
Kamari Pleasant's in the backfield on 1st and 10 with the ball squarely on the 25-yard line. From the left hash, here goes Pleasant. Ahead for 3 yards. And look at that hill. I'm thinking maybe Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young watched a game from there once. What do you think? Maybe? Hey, Ashbury types?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. So beautiful. And we sit right in the middle of the field. I think you're actually standing in the middle of the
I am. I'm
Hayward
sitting
fault.
right on the fault line at the 50-yard line where I am right now, Tim. Right on it.
Savan, Ahmed in the backfield, and now it's Jones looking on the sideline, route incomplete. Well defended by Cameron Bynum.
Bynum's been doing that all afternoon, Tim. He's showing you some of that ability to own that sideline, a great defense, and then squeezing the receiver to the outfield. He's playing him head up. That tells you right now he's got confidence. He's giving the receiver a two-way go. Gets that right in there to shuck and then squeeze and then locates the ball. We know there's no face guarding in college football, but again, the fact that he's able and confident enough to try to identify the ball tells you I own this space right now.
You know, Chris Peterson talked to us about getting a little more explosive plays. It's tough to get against this Cal secondary. 3rd and 7. Incomplete. Boy, Fuller let the ball play him that time. Right in front of the defender, Travion Beck, number 22, the junior from Paramount, St. John Bosco High. You talk about a great high school that's produced a lot of talent, including Tim DeRuyter, a defensive coordinator.
Well, Beck came out of the gate really working hard, had an interception against North Carolina early, kind of dampened a little bit, didn't see much from him, but again, he's had an interception against Oregon State last week. This team right now is playing at a high level on the defensive side of the ball.
It really is. Whitford, another beautiful punt. Eyes spiraling to Wharton with a fair catch at the 25-yard line. Beck was happy. Right now, Cal is hanging tough with Washington. When Keith Jackson was at work as the old cocktail party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to say that anymore.
Well, at the old place they didn't.
Well,
They can say it now.
I think I just did.
Yeah, you did.
Here's Garbers right out to Laird.
There you go. They've been working trying to get that play set up, and they finally got it because Washington hasn't responded in a way that dissuades them from doing that.
Yeah.
You got great matchups, linebackers out there. Even though you got a great one and Ben Burke-Kirven on the other side, that's a matchup that Laird should win every time.
2nd down and 2 coming up. What do you make of the way they've utilized McElwain as a little bit of a shuttle from time to time based on down and distance?
I think both of them can run, but you're not going to get power on this team. You're not from the quarterback position, although they're trying right now.
That little zone.
Yeah, inside zone.
Inside zone to Laird. That worked beautifully. That's the biggest hole he's had today. Miles Bryant makes the stop.
Well, the left guard is going to come across, and let's see exactly what happens here. What they call if block or pull around. He's searching for anybody, and he's got the best linebacker, Burke-Kirven, that he finds him and just covers him up. That opportunity is what they need to do. If they find a way to block it, Power's going to be a good play for them.
You see both of them. McElwain looking on the sidelines, and that's just great patience by Laird. That's exactly what you want to see. And you made the comparison to McCaffrey. JoJo McIntosh, the stop. This looks like a McCaffrey-type run right here.
Well, it really is, and it's that patience that defined his game. But watch again, Burke-Kirven is covered up to 25 right here. They cover him up. He has no place to go. When you got a 325 guy guard iffing or pulling around to cover you up, it's tough to get off of him in tight corners.
2nd and 1. He's got the first down. Nice open field tackle. You're right. On Zaricki.
14 apiece on the farm first quarter. Tim Spencer, back to you.
How do they sustain success? We were there for that emotional win in Pullman last week. As you see McElwain back into the game on what was a quarterback run, designed run. And you look at the standings, Spencer, that game with Stanford and Washington State is huge. After an emotional win at home, that's the kind of game that generally gets past Wazoo. They don't sustain it that well. I'll be curious to see how that one ends up tonight.
Well, I think the context is always going to set the climate. And that coach right there is one of the best at getting his teams in a position to compete at a high level. But you got to paint the narrative, what it means. And your team has got to be disciplined enough, mature enough to respond to it.
Well, if Wazoo can win and Washington can hold on here, the Apple Cup on the Friday after Thanksgiving could be for the Pac-12 North. Stepping up as Chambers. Magnificent. Do you see him put his foot on the ground?
Yeah, he did.
Crowd responds here at California Memorial Stadium. That's a first down after 13 yards.
Garbers does a nice job of getting his eyes up the field, but watch him when he sees nothing there on the crossing route that clears him out. He puts that right foot in the ground and gets vertical in a hurry.
Mark it at the 24-yard line. Seen a lot of Patrick Laird in this series, haven't we? Kind of started it, and now they go to the tight end bunting. You know, Bo Baldwin has a lot of pre-snap movement in what they do offensively.
Well, here's Garber's move once again. You can see that right foot in the ground, and he gets up vertical. Both these quarterbacks can actually run the ball. You know, I think Garber's is actually underrated, Tim. I know, you know, he's the passer among the two, but I think that he can run just as effectively.
Well, you know, he said yesterday that's what he needed to do. Yep. I mean, he told you and me that's exactly what he planned to do.
Well, let's watch Laird down there. He's got 51 yards and 21 receiving.
And 2nd and 2, he bounces it out. Flag down, Laird down at the 12. Thrown in an area where you'd think potentially offensive holding, but we'll see.
Holding, offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
That's Ray Hudson, the tight end, the guilty party.
Tight end is working out there on the edge. Yeah. You can see that little hand right there. You can see him grab him. Potoai is
I'd
accosted right there. He got him front and back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So back it up to the 26 now. 2nd and 12. Time winding down in the opening half. Cal trailing by 1. Garber's in trouble and down. Spun down by big Greg Gaines. The senior comes through. Well, he occupies double and triple teams and remains so productive.
Tim, and he's 321. Here's Gaines right here. Watch him, the move. I mean, that's an athletic move. I mean, just leaves the center in space right there. No choice, nothing to do with Oaten's. Just, he couldn't catch him. I mean, that's a big 325-pound guy moving like that. That should be illegal.
You know, a lot of times it's those guys, and Holly talked about it in our open. Jalen Johnson, Gaines, and Onzariki, they really open it up for Ben Burke-Kirven and Tevis Bartlett to make more plays and more tackles. But that guy's getting over 5 tackles a game.
Timeout. Cal, their first of the half. You know, this will be a 30-second timeout.
That's not easily done when you're in the A-gap. Timeout, California. Coming up on the State Farm Halftime Show, as Rob mentioned, they'll be looking at a lot of important action in this October Saturday. Playoff implications surrounding our old friends in the SEC. All of that coming up with Rob, Dave Wannstedt, Matt Leinart, and Robert Smith. 3rd and long now coming up. 3rd and 21 after that sack by Greg Gaines. You see Ben Burke-Kirven looking in, eyeing the quarterback. Garbers. Nice. Rifles it out to Wharton, and he's back to the original line of scrimmage. Leave it for 4th down, and that means if Thomas comes in, you know, that's the first time Thomas has had a 2 field goal game all year, Greg Thomas. They could try for one now. It would give them the lead, but no movement as yet. Important because that throw was a career-long The field goal was a career-long 44-yarder, and this would be a relatively long one coming up for Thomas, should they decide to go for the field goal. Wilcox is going to take a quick timeout.
Their second of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
We'll be back with the kick, and it'll be a big one for the lead.
Timeout, Washington. Their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Well, we come back from break, and Washington determines that it'll take a timeout. They waited a long while. I thought for a moment that because of the angle and with the left-footed kicker, Thomas has had 2 today. That's the first time all season he's done that. A 44-yarder is his longest. This will be a 41-yard attempt. We had a lot of blocked kicks in games today.
Yeah, but
a lot of big plays by special teams in games played around the country earlier today.
Yeah, that timeout, though, I mean, there's a lot of gamesmanship being played right there. Chris Peterson knows he's got a psychology degree for a reason.
Timeout, Washington, the second of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Listen, he had it done to his guy in that matchup with Oregon a couple of weeks ago. You know, Peyton Henry had made the first one, and then the second one, he slightly hooked against Oregon or Washington.
Here's something that
Chris, unblemished in the Pac-12 right now.
Yeah, no question. Here's something that Chris Peterson knows. He knows the inner game cannot not be played, and no other position is that demonstrated than at the kicker.
Well, here's what we were talking about. But that was the miss after the timeout had been called by Mario Cristobal.
Yep.
And that was a miss that you just didn't anticipate from Peyton Henry. A seasoned kicker. This one now for Thomas from 41. His career-long 44. Snap, spot, and he missed it. Great call by you and by Coach Pete. He knew what he was dealing with there. Psychologically, the advantage went to Washington after those 2 timeouts.
So, Tim, now you know you can go into the halftime with a lead. You can use that and leverage it to come in the second half and say, hey, guys, now let's buckle down and go get this thing.
As predictable as a pop-up in the 17th inning last night.
Well, you still up for that?
Yeah, I was, by the way.
I know you were. You tweeting.
Halftime here in Northern California. On to Rob Stone in Los Angeles and the guys for the State Farm halftime show. Highly competitive matchup in the Pac-12 as the sun begins to set. And you look at the halftime numbers, the third down conversions, pretty much a wash. More opportunities for Cal than for the Huskies. Rushing yards, very even. We'll see if Cal can overcome mentally not getting that field goal to go. That could be a pivotal portion of this game psychologically. And with more downstairs, having spoken to the coaches, here's Holly.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, I talked to both coaches, and Coach Peterson was disgusted with the way that his team played in the first half. He said, Holly, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot, too many penalties, etc. He said they have to convert on third downs. And as for Coach Wilcox, I asked him about his red zone efficiency, and he said that when they get into the red zone, they have to convert those opportunities into touchdowns, not field goals. Come on, guys.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the determination that they're trying to get by at the position right now with 2 guys that have 2 skill sets. Whereas for Washington, you know the signal caller is going to be consistent and always productive in Jake Browning. Here's the handoff to Ahmed.
There's Weaver again in the middle, shutting them down. I think to Holly's point, it's really the numbers and production that matter.
The offense, his helmet came off. He has to lead for 1 play.
Just 67 yards passing for Washington in that first half, and that's really the output here.
Most of it, Spencer, came in that opening drive for the touchdown, too.
Yep, with Ty Jones, with Browning hooked up with Jones. But outside of that, Tim, it's been shut down corner cover play by Cal, and there's been lack of production alternately for Washington.
2nd and 10. See those linebackers
corner coming up here.
Indeed. So much pre-snap movement. Swing it out for Pleasant. And Kamari tripped up. Again, outstanding penetration from Jalen Hawkins, number 6, the redshirt junior, making the play again.
Remember, they started this game out doing this. Just watch the technique, the low blocking on the part of these offensive linemen down here. They're trying to cut these guys down. Cut blocks, linemen don't like those cut blocks, but what they're trying to do is make them aware of the fact that they're going to be blocking them low. Then they come back with the feel run power at them, and guys are concerned about being blocked below their waist.
That looked like a military academy approach. 3rd and 8. Browning looping, he's got him wide open. It's McGrew. He's got it. Down to the 32, maybe the 31. 41 yards, the hookup, and it's Konashik running him down, number 59, the linebacker.
Tim, they got Weaver, too, and company in a zone blitz combination. Watch when you see these guys that are big, heavy guys having to drop back in zone coverage. Watch where Weaver ends up going. He's trying to chase a guy across the formation and gets beat. I mean, that's just a bad mistake, a bad defense by that type of play. It's just caught him at the right time.
They did mark him at the 32. Now 8 of 15 for 109 is Browning. Here's Pleasant again. Look at that penetration.
Well, Malik Psalms came all the way across that formation there and made a tremendous play.
Chino Hills, California.
Yeah, number 23. Watch him come all the way across the formation and chase this ball down. And the runner. Well, that's solid defense right there.
He's overcome upper body issue, as you see Chino Hills, I beg your pardon, rather than Chino. Young man that's gone through some, as we like to say in the business, upper body issues in recent weeks. That's a nice way of saying we can't call it what it really is. Likely an appendectomy. Here's Ahmed. Stopped by Funchess. Again, these losses on early downs tough for Washington.
Well, look at Funchess come off that outside edge and play with that strong left hand. Boy, he looks like Jadeveon Clowney out there with that hair flying all over the place. Able to reach out and make one guy shed and make an unbelievable open field play.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Remember, missing Myles Gaskin, not going again after 47 consecutive starts. Missed last week against the Buffaloes and missing today. Browning. Let's see how he handles this scramble opportunity. It's hammered by Konashik at the 32, the original line of scrimmage. Paid for it that time. It'll be 4th down.
He had some pressure that was late coming. Cal trying to run some games and some deals to get to the quarterback. Browning stays in his comfortable space.
Well, this would be a 49-yarder, Spencer, and they decided to go for it early, you might recall, in that opening series. Wound up getting the first down on a scramble, and then ultimately Ty Jones had the touchdown reception. That was a 4th and 9. This is 4th and 10. Ahmed, the setback.
I don't think they're going to do anything. Oh, they are.
Yeah, they are, wow. Indeed. In trouble. Down he goes. Shovel pass late. I believe Funchess had him. They're going to rule it. Rule him down. I think they have ruled him down, so the sack will count. Couple of big plays defensively. Funchess with pressure. The ball turned over on downs for Cal.
Timmy, here's why I question this call. Here's a shallow crossing route. The sticks are right here. That's 10 yards. If you're going to try to get a first down, go get every bit of that with the quickest route. You've got 3 guys going, pushing down the field 15 yards deep. Why not go 10 and pivot and turn? That way you can deal with the pressure that's been nagging you all afternoon long. I don't think it's a very smart play. And then you compound that again with the bad decision. Funchess on the sideline. He's just frustrated because he's so tired chasing these guys around.
Funchess, who made the play. By the way, intentional grounding was called on Browning after we went to break. It was a very late flag. So it was obviously negated, nullified by Cal because they wanted the football regardless. So they respot the ball after the intentional grounding 5 yards further back. So they take over in scrimmage from their 36-yard line after taking over on downs. Laird is in the backfield. Little curl right to Moways, and the Michigan transfer carries a few Huskies with him for a first down. Ben Burr-Kirven with the tackle, 16-yard gain.
And he did it against press coverage. Let's take a look at this. Got him on an outside shade. He's trying to play a bail technique. This is zone all the way. This is like stealing, Timmy. With nobody in your face, all you're doing is turning, presenting your number to the quarterback, and it's Johnny on the spot. Outstanding.
First and 10 from the 48 of the Huskies. It's Laird on the stretch play. Makes his way to the 45-yard line for a gain of 3. Second down and 7 coming up.
You know, I don't mind sometimes when backs are in the boundary. That's the short side of the field where you kind of sift. But against this front, typically, Tim, as we stated at the top of the show, you got to get downhill, and you got to get downhill quick. But when you're in a phone booth, the short side of the field, sometimes you got to pick and sift through there, particularly when you're trying to nurse a lead.
Chase Garbers remains the quarterback. Makes it himself. He decided to tuck it. Greg Gaines made the stop. He told us after watching film from their last outing against Oregon State, he said, you know, I could have tucked it and run probably 2 or 3 more times. And he really worked on that through the course of this week to say, okay, I know I'm the better passer here, but, you know, I can run it too. And if I can prove that I can run it, I would suggest there's more of a case for this to become his team offensively. 3rd down and 5. They send Wharton up to the top of your screen, number 17.
Those reads have got to come on those end men on the line of scrimmage on those outside zone plays. Pressure.
Yep, off the edge. Lets it fly. At the tight end. That's Mo Ways, the split end, I beg your pardon, to the 35. You're right, same play, same curl pattern.
Same play, throwing away from pressure. Right now, they're ticking. Cal is just moving down the field, understanding in the wheelhouse of what Washington is trying to do from a pressure into the boundary. Remember, all of this action is coming on the short side of the field, ready to dial it up to go backside and try to create a play if they can get that safety to roll over. See, now they got the swap and the personnel they're looking for.
Trips to the bottom of your screen, and it's Laird. Tries it right up the middle and right into the arms of Ben Burr-Kirven, among others.
One day he's going to figure he can pull that ball out. You got 27 back there, one safety guy. You got 7 yards before he meets you. You may be able to make him miss in space, and I think this quarterback has it. So when you come down to the line of scrimmage, Timmy, you got to understand exactly where that guy is. So as you come down here, and if he crashes, you got to pull that ball out. The next defender is 27 coming into your frame there.
Brandon McElwain has come back in now at quarterback, number 5, sending Laird out. He was going to run that one all the way, and it was snuffed out in a hurry. Byron Murphy, number 1, the first to get there.
Yeah, number 1, the left corner, Byron Murphy Jr. saw him coming, and well, he was hell-bent for election on that play. He had his ears pinned back, and he was coming with intention.
By the way, that would be a Spencerism, hell-bent for election. It has nothing to do with midterms.
Well, it's election season. You know, he's coming right here. You see him, and again, the receiver's able to help you out there, let you know that guy's coming in there, and he's going to get there, man. You got to find a way to do that. No bad Chads here. That guy's going to get there. The point.
Glad you noticed it was the election season.
No hanging Chads there, man.
Garbers is in trouble and sacked. Ben Burr-Kirven, his old friend he remembers, Menlo Park, California, coming through there to make the stop. 108 tackles coming into today's game. This kid is something special.
Just 2 tackles against Cal last year, but now he's showing it up. Again, we can see him, number 25, coming from depth right here. Makes one guy, just sheds him out the way and makes him move. And that's the Tulsa tries to get in his way, just sheds him and moves.
4th and 17. So after a really good drive, it bogs down and they go backwards. End over end punt by Coots. Should get a bounce and does. How beautiful is that, huh? That's why you go find you a nice Aussie kicker. You know? Burr-Kirven and company stiffen defensively after a good drive for the Bears. Washington has it on their patio when we come back. Perfectly placed boot by Coots with the touch and the end over end boot here. That's what we call starting from your patio, Spence.
Yeah.
And a little
vineyard to go with that patio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, if you got free seats from outside,
Why
you
not?
should have a patio on your field. First down, Browning backed up. Inside is 2. Ball security. Pleasant, maybe a yard if that. That's Luke Beckett, 93, the redshirt junior, after a 2-yard gain coming away with the tackle.
Well, the trifecta, the 3-headed monster that Chris Peterson described it as, not as effective today, especially here backed up on the patio, as you say, Tim. They've got to take care of the football.
His front 3 for Cal have been imposing. in trouble. Does manage the line of scrimmage in a couple of yards. And it's time now for a quick game break. Let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles.
Tim, thanks. Number 6, Texas hasn't been ranked this high, this late in a season since 2009, facing Oklahoma State. Sam Ehlinger playing with a sprained shoulder and playing through that pain. 5-yard touchdown. It is all tied at 7 in the first quarter in Stillwater. Tim, Spencer, back to you.
The importance of Ehlinger's health. I mean, I don't think you can emphasize that enough. For Texas down the stretch. They got a lot of big games in front of them. 3rd and 6 here. And flags come down. Should be a false start against the Huskies.
False start. Offense, number 58. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
Got Caleb McCary there, the right tackle. And again, it's just that movement. All it took. Coach Chris Peterson not happy about it. This guy right here.
Yeah.
He's kind of on an island, too. The bigger splits than most of the other guys.
Yeah. I played big at Bishop Dunn High, and I'm doing it now at Cal.
I like the decision to have 2 guys back there returning because you're going to have good field position if you just field the ball. But you still got to make wise decisions. These guys right here, it's my ball. Wait, you got it. No, you got it. No, you got it. Come on, man. You got it. Gordon got it in the end, but.
Well, when you've got these Australian kickers, Spencer, that they can angle it from one boundary to the other, it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I like the decision to have 2 back. You cover a lot more field.
Laird carries. Maybe a yard if that. Well, look at our Coors Light road ahead. And for California, you see what's in front of them. They haven't made a bowl game since the Armed Forces Bowl in 2015. If they can get a win here, they look like they could be bowl eligible. USC's going the wrong way. So is Colorado. They gave up a big lead today and lost to Oregon State. Stanford in the midst of a close one just down the road at the farm as we speak.
You know how I'm spinning that if I'm coach. I'm saying, hey, look, guys, we're not going to be favored in any one of those games.
Nice pass. And a good directional move by Wharton afterwards. He knew where the chains were. Went against the grain after he made the catch for 12 yards and a first down. Smart play by the receiver, Vic Wharton.
Well, you get it in their hands. They've got 2 or 3 guys that can make plays. That was kind of the narrative we began with. More explosive plays. Even though it wasn't the 20-plus, it was significant yardage to get him down.
Well, statistically, this game is really even.
Yep.
So many respects. 1st and 10. Laird on the delay. Pulled down by Greg Gaines. Pickup of 2.
Look at the body language.
Well, let's see what's going on that sideline for Washington. Could we see a pitching change? That's Jake Haener, the redshirt freshman from Danville, California, warming up.
That would be a significant change if they went that route, boy. Big time change.
Wonder if Jake's completely healthy. Laird just gets a little extra push from his offensive lineman down to the 36 for a curve in the staff. Gets the stop. Cal has doubled Washington in time of possession, but their numbers statistically are about the same. Now, that's not a very happy look on Jake Browning's face.
Looks pensive, doesn't it? He's just searching, trying to find something. There's no solution right now for him.
I'm looking at Haener, and I get the impression he's looking to get into the game.
Yeah, and for a quarterback like Browning, he needs to be in the game to get a feel and a rhythm, because he's not going to do anything with his legs to blow this game open.
Well,
nice touch.
For Laird. Isolated, incomplete. The ball hung up a little bit on Garbers, and it allowed the defender to come back down to make the play. Taylor Rapp was one of them, number 7. And number 13.
Yeah, Wellington was back there. Wellington was back there, but again, the ball hung up too long, and he knows it. Does Gabbers? You got to give your guys a chance. That's one of your most gifted players on this team coming out of the backfield. You got the matchup that you wanted. It's really about accuracy. And again, one of the 3 points he told us, I got to improve in the deep with accuracy aspect of my game. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's one of the 3 requisite plays you got to throws that you got to be able to make if you're going to play at a high level.
Might
delayed game, offense, that penalty is declined, 4th down.
So nothing done really on this
Correction.
series.
Washington has accepted the 5-yard penalty. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And it'll be really interesting to see if Haener does in fact come out. If body language is surviving, then at least he for a period of time felt the ball was going to be his.
You know, Browning's, like as we said, 47 consecutive starts. I mean, he's been around a long time, so that could be just maturity that we're looking at.
Yeah. End over end again. Fuller calling for the fair catch at the 10-yard line. Oh, well, it looks like Browning will get the call.
Yep.
Haener walking in that direction, too. Spencer, we often talk about, you mentioned it many times, inflection moments in a career.
This is it.
Yeah, this is it. For Haener coming in, and look at this conversation during the Cal series. Only one back, and it's McGrew. They're going to just play some power football.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
And, you know, Haener is a young man from Monte Vista High School, Danville, California, has only played against North Dakota. 7 of 7 in that game. So this is shocking, really.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there that said he wouldn't play a meaningful snap behind Browning as his backup. I guarantee you that's changed.
2nd down and 5 with Kamari Pleasant in the backfield. On his own read, he's got a first down.
It's working, though, Timmy.
Yep.
It's working. That first down, you want to get 5 or more on that first down, and you can move the chains. Now you're in a positive situation from a mindset. Your offensive lineman can settle in, know that it's going to be a war from here on out. This is a one-point game, man. This is about physical play, grind it out, go try to win it on the ground.
To Jake's credit, after he asked the question why and did not get a response from his head coach, he went into the huddle with Haener and the rest of his offense, trying to play the role of a good teammate and a team leader. Play fake, Haener. With time for the corner, incomplete. Pass was thrown low. That's for Bocelli, the possession receiver that is in the slot many times. On occasion, they'll use him out wide. That pass was right there for him, and he got it there.
Yeah, it's a deep out, though. It's a tough throw to make, Timmy, across the field. And again, the play, the action that you use with it can either help or hinder a quarterback. I don't know if that's the surest type of throw with a guy that just stepped in 3 plays ago.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing number 3 on the sidelines is thinking I could have completed that. Yeah. 2nd and 10. And now a timeout's forced. And with a young man that hasn't seen much playing time,
Washington,
they may be
their first
absorbing some of these
timeout
as
of the
well.
half. This will be a
7-6 our score. The timeout utilized. And Spencer, all you can do in these moments is understand that the head coach is saying, this is a seminal moment in our season. My quarterback is not privileged. And if he's not performing, he can lose his job. And that's the message being sent right now.
But you can't manage for the short term, Tim. This team is relevant and in a position to do something significant. You don't want to waste it with a quarterback that may not be ready for the moment.
McGrew wrapped up by Evan Weaver, 89. And who's to say that Browning might not come back into the game? He very easily could.
He's just trying to shake up. Listen, this guy has started 47 consecutive games. Sometimes you need to shake things up a little bit. And Coach Peterson, give him credit. He's earned the right to be able to do this. But it is a bit of a risk because will ego get involved? You're going to leave 13 in? Or are you going to put the guy that's gotten you here this far?
I don't think there's any question that Chris Peterson is one of the top 5 coaches in America. Intercepted. It's picked off. It's Evan Weaver taking it the distance. Out of bounds at the 1. Touchdown. A late signal. Evan Weaver with a pick 6.
interception for a touchdown.
Yeah, he got the pylon.
Yeah, he got the pylon
That's a
there.
heck of a play.
He's down on the side over there, too.
Yeah, Evan Weaver
He's all right.
I think he's just out of breath.
Yeah, Weaver's over there panting like a lizard on a hot rock right about now.
Well, he gave it his all. What athleticism at the linebacker position. You look at him and you just don't think some of these plays he can make, but he does.
Well, the throw goes right into his mitts. He's dropping in kind of a center field responsibility there, kind of a man under coverage responsibility. He just settles in the middle of the field. And the youngster doesn't even see him, man, and throws it right to him.
First time he's played since North Dakota, and Jake Browning sees his worst nightmare after being pulled from the game in favor of Jake, a redshirt freshman who's got no doubt a good future, but has not had a meaningful snap all year.
Now, if you're Browning, though, you got to show some leadership in this situation. Your body language means everything.
Going for two. Bootleg action for Garbers. He's going to tuck it. Can't get there. Great defensive work. What closing speed by Elijah Molden, number 3. The sophomore from West Linn, Oregon, saved the two. And it looks like Jake is warming up again. Well, maybe the lesson learned. With, as you suggested, with a little something
there you go.
At stake.
That's leadership
teammate.
right there. Yep. That's leadership right there.
And that's what his head coach wants to see from him.
And credit Chris Petersen as well for not letting the ego get the better part of him. A lot of times you make a bad decision. Your ego tells you, I'm going to stick with this call no matter what. You got to correct problems quickly. Own it and move on.
Well, if Browning does come in, we will remember that decision no question that was made and how Jake responds. But at the same time, he did give up 6 points to the opposition as a result of that choice. But he is coaching big picture, not just in the moment.
And, you know, a smart coach in which he is, he'll have a narrative to coach with no matter what, Tim. Because if Browning can't get them on track, the argument becomes, hey, look, that's why I pulled you. We were struggling. Now, if he lights a fire on them and they get some points on the board, then the move still works.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming down to the end of the quarter. Here's what happened. Evan Weaver with the interception after the quarterback decision was made. He caught the pylon for the touchdown as Caleb McCary, 58, could not get there in time. And the reaction from Jake Browning sort of said it all. He was going to be a quality teammate, but he was very unhappy to witness that.
And another Cal Bear down on the field.
Daniel Scott, number 32, is the injured Bear on the kickoff team. The ball did go through for a touchback, so we have one play remaining before the end of the third quarter. This game was very even except in time of possession, and now it's really tilted in the favor of California.
Before that last play, again, there was an 8-play advantage on the part of Cal, but that was negligible. It was really the time of possession and offensive opportunities that Cal had relative to Washington.
On the other side of the bay at the farm, Stanford leading Wazoo 28-17 at the break. And Haener will remain in the game at least for this play. Little drama here, my friend. Little drama. Amari Pleasant, the setback. He'll take it off the left side. Ahead to the 30-yard line. And we're at the end of 3. Pivotal game. And a seminal moment, perhaps, for Washington trying to stay alive. They've lost their chance at a college football playoff, but the Pac-12 is still in play. But Cal is also in the way. As we open the fourth quarter, Spencer, you and I have been in this business together a long, long time. Utmost respect for Chris Petersen. But I don't know that I've ever seen in college football this late in the season a player of the year from the conference 2 years ago, 48th consecutive start, pulled in a game this important as he was in the third quarter.
It is unusual, particularly if you're looking from the outside in. But if you remember when I asked Bush Hamdan, the offensive coordinator, about the progression of Browning's success. Okay? Again, a couple of years ago, he's Pac-12 Player of the Year. And then you start to look at the numbers, and they started to regress. He started to have issues with accuracy, making poor decisions when he got outside the pocket. And we've seen some of that tonight. Again, obviously the backup obviously had issues as well. So this is not that huge of a surprise in terms of being aware of the body of work over those 4-year periods. And there's some limitation. Everybody has the Frida principle in effect. You reach a point where you can only get so much. And again, he's a great quarterback, but perhaps he's reached the ceiling.
Well, Bocelli just made that catch. Did you notice they rolled out Haener that time, enabling him a better opportunity to throw with a little momentum? But again, when you make a change at quarterback like this, and Caleb McCary's now had 2 false starts.
False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. First down.
This is what happens when you make a quarterback change to an offense that's seen one guy for 3 straight years.
Well, here's the play action in the rollout, hoping to see there's some discernible difference between the skill set and the decision that you got with Browning versus this young kid right here. This is a high percentage throw for a guy like this on the move. Most quarterbacks can throw better when they're on the move running.
First and 15, and he goes to Kamari Pleasant. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage and 1, so 9 yards now away from a first down.
I like the decision to get the ball in the hands of the runners and then to move this guy to the pocket so he's not dealing with duress. I don't think they're going to allow him to sit in the middle of the pocket. They're going to try to move him, which is a great strategy for his skill set.
You know, great coaches, great leaders of men make these kinds of decisions and have to live with them. We'll see how the rest of this plays out as Haener remains at quarterback with Pleasant back there with him. Running towards the field, Pleasant spun down at the 48. Will be 3 yards shy of a first down. Konashik with the stop. Big pick 6 for Evan Weaver, 89, off of Haener in the last series to give Cal the lead.
Like the personnel grouping that's coming here now, got a little bit of athleticism working. This is a crucial down, Tim. 3rd and relatively short. This is a run conflict for the defense. Ideally, you should be able to run or pass in this scenario, so let's see if Washington can get the matchup that they want.
4 out of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Haener over the middle. Tipped away. Ty Jones, the intended receiver. I think Hawkins got his mitt up there and knocked it away.
So I think it's just a bad decision to have him sit back in the pocket and navigate. I'm not sure his eye discipline is as good as it needs to be with guys crossing. It's really about understanding how many people that are out there looking at him. Look at the eyes. You can see him looking downfield, Timmy, and his eyes are locked in on his target, but there's a lot of bodies crossing in front of him.
How about that play by Konashik? How about that? The guy that cooks up those sassy eggs, Spencer. How about that? It was he and Jalen Hawkins defending.
It touched him too.
I believe it did. I think recovered by Cal. That was a big, big break.
Now, Konashik, the sass master you were talking about, hopefully we'll talk about his recipe in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Remigio almost turned that one away. Wow. Spencer, you're an old special teamer. We were talking about having 2 safeties. It saved them here. That is number 17, Vic Wharton. And after Trey Turner, basically 5, runs into Remigio, without 17 there, Cal loses the football.
And it's about preserving the field position, and you're absolutely right. That's why you have 2 deep as opposed to just 1.
Laird, nothing doing up front. You know, you made a career in the NFL for a few extra years because of time on special teams. I don't know that I've seen 2 guys. There you see special teams leader Charlie Ragle. A wise choice. I don't think we've seen double safeties on punts all season.
Well, the intent is to preserve field position, but it's not so much you're anticipating a fumble, but that's one of the byproducts that happens. Usually a guy's trying to directional kick and make the one guy run for the ball, and that's where you get into problems handling.
All right, 2nd down and 11. Quick slant, and it's caught by Noah. And Noah stopped by Taylor Rapp right away. Haven't seen as much of Noah in the pass game today. Washington's done their best to take him away as the possession receiver out of that slot, running those quick slants.
Yeah, that's where he's most dangerous, but they will put him when they go 4 by with 2 receivers on either side. They will put him in the outermost position and run a bubble screen to him. Don't think they'll do it backed up like this, but when they do go 4 wide, kind of like this formation right here, they will bubble screen it to him.
In the second half, it's been a different story on 3rd down conversions. Garbers Oh, what a hit. That was a big-time hit. Remigio brought it in, but Elijah Molden laid the lumber. Woo. What a hit, Spence.
Well, not Elijah Molden is the nickelback. Listen to this. We used to say in the hood, nick him, don't cut him. Just hit him. That's what a nickelback is supposed to do. He's supposed to have the ability to play corner as a starter, but if you put him in the slot against another athletic guy, you got to play like you're a number one.
Now Coots now. Stephen Coots will have booted away from his own end zone. Aaron
with me.
Here's tonight's All-State Mayhem moment. And it came in the third. This pick six from Evan Weaver. After a quarterback change had been made. Hayner delivers it. And right on the pylon, Jake Browning could only watch. But now, the leader and past Pac-12 Player of the Year as a sophomore is back on the field. Sean McGrew is a setback. This will be McGrew ahead to the 49-yard line. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5 coming up.
Excellent piece of running by McGrew there. A little late shift up front by Cal, and he just sifted through to find enough void to put him in a positive situation on 2nd down and 5 now. Either way, run and pass is your option. The full playbook at your disposal.
Remember, Washington scoreless since they scored a touchdown with 7:31 left in the first quarter. A Ty Jones reception, 3 yards. It was their first drive of the game. They've been shut out since. Cal's defense has been tremendous. Browning over the middle to the tight end. Move the chains. That's Drew Sample, the senior from Bellevue, Washington. A gain of 6.
Evan Weaver was right there to close on him again. He's all over the place.
And there you see the offensive story today. That first drive was 64 yards and 14 plays. Not much sense.
Pleasant's in the game now. Back.
Bring the tight end into an H-back position. That's Cade Otton. Browning in trouble, and down he goes. A lot of Bears arrived, and all were in a bad humor. First to get there, Cameron Bynum. Had a lot of help from his friends, though.
Yeah, Rusty Becker, number 92, was a part of that. Again, all of these guys came after him. They were coming from all different angles. They had a directions right call. In other words, it's everybody on the front line moves to their right, a starboard charge, and then everybody hits those gaps with the responsibility, each one reaching one all over Browning. Had nowhere to go.
Under pressure, 2 sacks, 7 hits, 9 hurries, and 1 pick. Quick drop out of the shotgun. Over the middle for Bocelli.
Not enough.
No, not at all. Stopped at the 41-yard line. 3rd down and still long. 3rd down, we'll call it a long 6. The ball just shy of the 40-yard line.
Let's see if Tim DeRuyter continues to dial up pressure, if he plays it safe now. He's got a 2-deep safety look, which gives you some sense that they're not going to pressure. The safeties are really, really deep. Here's the line to gain here.
Pressure coming up the middle. Browning, full tipped. Great pressure coming from Kanashik right up the middle. And Weaver was in coverage to help disrupt that play. It's 4th and 6.
And it was Evan Weaver once again who got the hand on the ball. You can see him coming from depth, but I can't get to the quarterback, but I can affect the play. Let me show you some elevation with the tip. Trying to get this Bear club through the night.
Well, Kanashik with the pressure and Weaver with the batted down pass. Well, these linebackers, I don't know if there's a team with 2 better that I've seen this year. And quick timeout, it appears, taken by Cal.
Timeout. Cal, their first of the half. This will be a full timeout.
Justin Wilcox, old defensive mind. He is loving this. (12-7) our score. After the timeout, Washington will boot it away. Whitford setting up, and once again, twin safeties, Ramijo and Vic Wharton, standing at their own 10-yard line.
Let's see if the punter makes him work for it. Corner kicks it or puts it in the middle of the field.
Look for the end-over-end variety again. High snap. And it is the end-over-end variety.
Nice. Oh, how about that? Caught
In the air, great coverage at the 3-yard line. And let's get a quick game break from Los Angeles. Here's Greg Wolf.
All right, Tim, thanks. Number 6, Texas, that 6-game win streak in jeopardy against Oklahoma State on 4th and 1. They don't just go for it, they go for 6. Taylor Cornelius to Jelani Wood, 16-yard touchdown. Cowboys are threatening again. We're on top 23-7 right now, second quarter. Tim Spencer, back to you.
Oh, how about the man with the mullet getting it done in Stillwater? How about this punt end over end? And Ty Jones, the speed merchant who has the only touchdown catch, runs down to make the play.
That's how you deploy your athleticism in another capacity, man. Special teams. The great teams use them on team.
Actually, I should mention it was Terrell Bynum, 28, rather than Ty, that made that play. I want to give him the credit that he deserves. Still wonderfully done. Patrick Laird is going to be very important to Cal the rest of this way. How he handles the rock when he gets it will go a long way in determining whether the Bears can hang on to this lead.
Is that running with purpose, Spencer?
Yeah, he's running with intentionality, but he knows where he is. The context matters. You're backed up. But I still don't think you have to sift through anything down here. You just got to get downhill. Yeah. I appreciate the guy running with instinct, though. But it's not about yards. It's about possession of the ball, not turning it over at this point.
Justin Wilcox was here with Tedford. Spent some time with Coach Christ at Wisconsin. Remarkable defensive mind. Now looking as a head coach to bring Cal back. And there's Jalen Johnson, 92, crashing through and providing the difference in that play.
That's an example of what can happen with Jalen Johnson, the right defensive end, with just 3 rushers, Tim. They give you the illusion that because those guards are uncovered, you got a chance to step up, and they will take that space away from you as quick as a hiccup.
Well, this is old school, isn't it? Jimmy Lake's defense now getting the job done for Washington. You know, he knew that they'd see both quarterbacks. And the Huskies defense is certainly providing everything that we thought they had within them and then some. Cooch will boot it away once again from his end zone. Both punters have been tremendously valuable to their teams. I mean, they really have. It's taken by Fuller. A quick burst. Look at him go. Inside the 25 at the 23. This kid, Aaron Fuller, is a young man that got the number 2 for the first time since the Roaring 20s.
Well, watch his technique, though. It's right upfield. He understands that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Everybody's coming down, and they're taught to collapse and create kind of a funnel effect. The best way to beat it is to go vertical. And he does a tremendous job of doing just that. Got his team sitting on the doorstep, not on the porch, but close enough.
This young man got the number 2. Chuck Carroll was a two-way player and special team star from 1926 to 28, regarded as one of the best all-time players. President Herbert Hoover called Carroll one of the classiest pieces of football machinery ever. In 1928, this young man was an outstanding talent. 90 years later, the Carroll family wanted Fuller to get that number. What a play!
Get that number there, too.
The stop by Jalen Hawkins.
Talk about Jalen Hawkins. He's made plays consistently. Again, number 26, number 6, playing from his strong safety position. Watch him just come out of nowhere. Upfield, able to trip you up 7 yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage. That's a huge play right after. Nice response after the great return to put Washington on the doorstep.
Time becoming a factor. 2nd and 20.
Double A gap blitz by the linebackers. Underneath should be something there.
Nice scramble. Beautifully done. That's Jones again. Inside the 10. 1st and goal.
Well, they lost the coverage with those linebackers dropping in shallow coverage. When they blitzed, that left a soft spot at that second level in between the defensive backs and where the linebackers would typically be. Again, trying to get pressure on them. We wondered a moment ago whether Tim DeRuyter would continue to keep that pressure. That time, Brownie made him pay for it.
Let's not forget, Spencer, that missed field goal at the end of the first half. 11 of 19 for 148 now for Browning. pitch to the wide side of the field. Kennard Pleasant stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. May have lost a yard. Evan Weaver, 89, who's been everywhere.
Yeah, but Ashton Davis, the free safety, man, he is like a heat-seeking missile to save this play. Coming from that free safety position, hell-bent for election 27, had him in his gun sights and went and got him. Great defense. Love the way this kid played. In fact, all of them back there. Joshua Drayton had a pick six.
Oh, that secondary is second to none. I mean, they are every bit the best Pac-12 secondary and one of the best in the country.
See if they run to the weak to the left side here.
Twin setbacks now, Pleasant and McGrew, and a timeout taken by the Huskies.
Timeout, Washington, their second of the half. This will be a full timeout.
Are we coming down to cases? What do you think?
I think so.
The Pac-12 North is in the balance in the state of California. What will happen the rest of the 508 we've got? Here's why we're where we are. After 2 timeouts by Chris Peterson, Greg Thomas's field goal was hooked. And it would rain to 7-6 game at halftime. Then after a touchdown to make it 12-7, a pick six on a 2-point conversion. That play, remarkably done defensively by Washington, coming up and stopping the 2-point conversion. Elijah Molden manages to keep it where it is. Jones,
Too high.
a high wire act, similar route to the one that he ran for the touchdown early. Aaron Fuller, the intended receiver this time. Jones made that catch, you might recall, for the lone touchdown. This one almost caught the goalpost.
Well, it was high.
Yeah.
He had to go climb the ladder for that one. Boy, he did tag that post.
You wonder why they have it padded? That's exactly why.
That's right.
Third down. Pleasant and McGrew the setbacks. No Myles Gaskin tonight.
All-out blitz.
Yep, here they come. In the corner,
pick.
picked off.
Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it.
I think Washington may have gotten it back. It's recovered by Nick Harris.
Fresh set it down to the change possession.
Now, wait a minute. Are they going to rule he didn't have it? Boy, that would be a big call for Cal. Ashton Davis looked at him.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass, 4th down.
Oh, I don't know.
He may have made. We got to get Dino on this one. Did he make a football move, Tim?
Ashton Davis had it. Aaron Fuller knocked it away. Fuller becoming a defender as the wide receiver.
But if they rule it an a completion, Tim, it's going to be a fresh set of downs if it changes hands.
Absolutely. Well, now let's. I think this is going to be incomplete. He did not complete the catch.
Wow.
That's a break, though.
He tucked it and tried to make a football move. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, now that's... By rule, that's the accurate call. 26-yard field goal to cut it to 2. Peyton Henry.
No, doctor.
And he puts it through.
Wow.
Take a breath, partner. We'll be right back. 12-10 our score here at Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. California holds off Washington. They do get the 3-pointer, but there obviously was some concern, if not curiosity, on the part of Spencer Tillman that maybe the ball had been possessed and then fumbled. Therefore, a fresh set of downs could have been in play for Washington. As it turned out, incompleted forward pass, and they kick the field goal. Ashton Davis is back deep. And this one will travel all the way to the end zone. Let's go to Dean Blandino to give us an explanation. More than anything else, Dean, I believe that it was incomplete, but give us your explanation from your perspective.
Yeah, I believe it was incomplete as well. Good ruling on the field and a good job by replay confirming it. Remember, it's control, body part down, and time. Does he have time to perform an act common to the game? Watch it at full speed. That ball comes out very quickly. He didn't do anything with it. It's an incomplete pass.
Had he taken a step or maybe 2, what would have made it a completed pass?
Yeah, if he takes an additional step, if he starts to advance the football, become a runner, then it would be a catch. And I know Spencer likes, he likes catches. He likes gaining yardage. So we'll keep working on that for you, Spencer.
I thought he took a step and a half.
Stepping up. Garbers Beyond the 25 to the 27-yard line. They may actually mark it at the 28 here. So it's 2nd and 7. Here it is again at real speed, Spence. If we can convince you otherwise.
You're not going to convince me otherwise, because I think he's intentionally moving. He's making a football move, in my opinion. Yeah. I think he's actually got his head down, ball tucked away. He's got 1.5, almost 2 full steps.
Patrick Laird is in the game, but he is now in the backfield as the lone setback. They go trips to the top. And Garbers beyond the 29 to about the 30-yard line. And the clock meaningfully moving forward for Cal. Very important 3rd down play here.
It's a huge play, and that last play, by the way, doesn't take anything away. It only is additive to what has been an unbelievably well executed from a defensive standpoint performance today by both teams. Again, thwarting the respective offenses that, in Washington's case, has been struggling coming into this, but obviously doing what they did against Oregon State last week. Cal has been on a roll.
Kind of Noah, keep an eye on him. He's running that shallow cross.
He's got it.
They go late, and it's Laird bringing it in, and he's right on the line.
I think he's got the first down.
I mean, he is right on the line.
He's got it.
A right foot spot, and it's a first down.
It's going to be a first down. They're moving a chain.
Ben Burr-Kirven was there, tried to push him back. That's a huge first down. Now they got to start using timeouts.
So that's where you're aware of where the line to gain is, and it's just smart play calling. I questioned Washington's decision earlier on a 4th down or 3rd down call, late down call, when they went probably 15, 17 yards in cuts, and then went on a 7-yard underneath for a 10-yard mark to line to gain. It just didn't make sense to me.
Cal's 13th first down, their 4th this half.
Nice.
Wide receiver screen, go to Vic Wharton. That's a big gain. 6 yards, it'll be 2nd and 4. And by the way, those timeouts that were forced to be taken after the quarterback change to Jake Haener, rearing its ugly head on the Huskies, because now they only have one opportunity to take a timeout. I mean, in effect, another first down, and Cal can run this baby out, and it's over. And again, that was all brought about in large measure because of the quarterback change that Chris Peterson decided to make.
Let's see if Washington plays with that urgency that you just articulated by body language and by defensive alignment. Single safety, bodies around the line of scrimmage. They're playing the run.
That's the first down.
Still can't stop it.
All right, they can only stop the clock once. Might we have a storming of the field for a third consecutive week? I'm just saying.
That's good, Tim.
I certainly haven't had 2 in succession. And I know it's nowhere near a sellout.
That's all right.
But those that are here are certainly enjoying it. It is a significant upset. That's without question. Iowa State 2 weeks ago. Washington State in Pullman a week ago. And lo and behold, here in Berkeley tonight.
We got to bottle this pixie dust we're carrying with us, man. This is good stuff. Nice patience there.
Laird ahead for another 4. 2nd and 6. Got to take the timeout.
Timeout. Washington. This is their 3rd and final timeout of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Time now for the expectation-shattering drive of the game. It happened pretty quickly in this quarter. A pick 6 for Evan Weaver. It's sponsored by Buick.
Well, you can see Evan Weaver does an excellent job of diagnosing where the ball is coming, dropping back in the middle of that coverage, and the big inside linebacker shows you I can convert and show you my athleticism as well. Meantime, oh, man, that'll get you doubled down quick as a hiccup.
There'll be a lot of conversation back in the Seattle area about the determination by Coach Peterson. Again, look, he knows his team better than we do. He's one of the top 5 coaches in America, in my opinion. But that choice, the turnover for the pick 6, plus the timeouts that were taken, all coming back into play now late.
No question about it, Tim. But you know, in the Twitter sphere, there's going to be a lot of naysaying if this score holds up and the outcome is what it could be.
I mean, I had no idea the first 1 to 12 might win this game. Did you?
No, I had no idea.
Thought the defenses would control it, but not to this extent. It is victory formation time. Laird putting from a first down.
Wow.
They've had their moments here, but it's been a long time. This will be the most significant win that they've seen in quite some time in this stadium. And the young man, Wilcox, was the defensive coordinator at Wisconsin. Before that was at USC. Decided to bring in a couple of assistant coaches, Bo Baldwin and Tim DeRuyter, that were former head coaches. And after being on Jeff Tedford's staff, and you can say during that period, Aaron Rodgers was a quarterback.
Timeout. California, their second of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And then Jared Goff would come in later. Think about it. Those two are playing in the NFL tomorrow. It's not as if Cal can't be good.
Yeah.
They can be. But in order to be good, you got to have a system in play. And Justin Wilcox believes right now this is the foundation that's being built.
Well, the foundation is a solid foundation because anytime you know who you are, and I think you got a sense that he does know who he is, you got smart players on this team. You can compete, but you got to have guys that want to compete. You can look at this, lineup here, man. This is some beautiful talent here. That's Justin Wilcox, Chris Peterson down as the head coach. That's some elite company, man, at Boise State.
Working together in 2006, that great team that remained our fly in the ointment during the BCS era. Well, America got tired of hearing that line.
You know they're going to be naysayers, though. Now Chris Peterson, like I said, he's got that master's degree in psychology. He's going to have to put it to work because there are going to be some people with long memories who remember just 5 years ago when he took over. We remembered he wasn't actually the first option. Jim Moore was, the former UW grad.
Garbers takes the seat, and that's going to do it. Justin Wilcox knows it. And the California Bears put away a huge victory. Yeah, they're coming.
I thought the Chardonnay was going to keep them back.
I think they're being blocked, actually.
Oh, man, come on, let them come on.
I think they're being blocked. They want to come.
They're trying, man.
We are in California. There are just some things they don't allow, and many things they do.
They're too busy drinking Chardonnay and eating prawns.
Take it all in now. This is a wonderful scene. Well, there are a few people that are getting out there. Not from the student section, though. Chase Garbers is happy. Justin Wilcox is, too. And he's downstairs with Holly Saunders.
Yep, you bet, Tim. Coach, coming into tonight, all the hype was about Ben Burke-Kirby, but it was your linebackers who stepped up tonight. How were they able to lead your victory?
Yeah, I just think everybody on the team played extremely hard, and we knew it would be a battle, but I think all the guys, I know they came in expecting to win the game, and just really proud of our effort and how they competed throughout the entire game.
You told us yesterday that you win grimy games. That was the adjective that you used. This was definitely one of them, but how big was this win for you and your program?
It's huge. I mean, it just, gives validation to everything we're doing, and I just love the guys and their effort and how they bring it every single day, and I'm just really happy and proud of them and for them to be in this position and to feel this excitement is just awesome for our program.
Enjoy it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim?
Well, Holly, the fans weren't able to come out onto the field, but the players are going to them on the opposite side. And Spencer, just another Herculean performance by an underdog in 3 consecutive weeks.
Excellent coaching, particularly on the respective defensive side of the balls. Cal acquitted themselves. You can cash that check now, Coach.
Our final score, 12-10, and I believe Evan Weaver, who had that pick 6, is downstairs with Holly. Go ahead, Holly.
We ain't even on set, JK.
Yes, Evan, I know how excited you are. Thanks for taking a minute here. Coming in this game, everybody was hyping Washington's defense, but it was yours that impressed tonight. How proud are you of your guys?
I mean, it's just a blessing, Our culture really showed through today. I mean, we just got the better culture than they do, and we really just took it to them all game, and they had nothing.
Well done, Evan. Just stay upright, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim?
All right, Holly, thank you. And for our entire crew, led by Jake Jolivet and Mitch Riggins, our many thanks to them and our entire staff.